My name is Briggle. I am a small business owner, a political junkie, a community volunteer, and I'm the parent of 2 kids here in Texas, one of whom is transgender. My kids are my entire world. I love them to death. Lulu is turning 10 very soon. She is very sensitive and sweet. She's the artist of the family. When she grows up, if she could have an animal rescue center and just care for all the fur babies, that would totally be her dream job.
Say hi to Tom Petty.
She just is a very loving, sensitive, sweet child. Max is 14. He's going to be in high school next year. He's taller than me, which I remind him every day is rude. I didn't consent to him growing up, but here he is. He's a decorated gymnast. He travels with his gymnastics team across the state of Texas and across the country. He's really good. He's thriving.
Great job, Max! Woo!
He plays tons of instruments. His favorite is the ukulele. I taught him a couple of tricks on the uke, and he just took off. He loves it. I think it's really important that people know that this is not a phase. Max told me when he was 2 years old that he was a boy. Almost from the moment he could speak, he was telling me that he was a boy. And this was of course 12 years ago. I was well, yesterday you were a dinosaur. Okay. But you pick your battles with kids, and it was getting harder and harder to get out the door in the morning because I had to brush his long hair and put him in a sundress, and he hated it. And so eventually I let him get that pixie cut, and he could pick out his clothes. We just talked about there's lots of different ways to be a girl. Just because you're not a girly girl like me doesn't make you any less female. Let's redefine girly together. But I didn't understand then what I know now, which is that gender identity, which is who you are, is different than gender expression, which is how you present yourself to the world, right? So I was giving him room to, have his gender expression, being visible, but still not embracing his gender identity. Then when he got to school, everything just got harder because school is super gendered, right? Boys line up here, girls line up here. Everyone is Mr. and Mrs. so-and-so, right? It's incredibly gendered. I think it just kind of really solidified for him that he was not a girl. He did not feel comfortable being called a girl. And he's really struggling. Can't sleep, not eating well. Max is a rule follower. He knows right from wrong. And he was suddenly acting up a lot at home and at school. He was hurting. He was not in a good space. And so finally it was one night, just shy of his 7th birthday, we sat down in my bedroom before bed, just having a good snuggle. And I was like, baby, I feel like you've really been sad lately and really hurting. And I feel like maybe I'm not listening to you. I wanted to know, I know, maybe it's a weird question, but are you a boy and not a girl? And should I call you my son and not my daughter? And he just kind of nodded, right, he'd been trying to tell me this for years, right? And so he said, I have a new name, and he told me his name and asked me if I could tell his teachers at school. And I was like, yeah, I'll help, anything you need. And I think that's really remarkable because there are children and even adults around the world who never come up to their parents at all, or lose sleep over the thought of having that conversation because they don't know what happens next. In that moment, Max felt safe and he felt seen. If I'm proud of anything in my life, it's that moment that he knows that no matter what, I will love him unconditionally. So I kissed him and I tucked him into bed, and the next day he went back to school with a new name and new pronouns. I was a little bit anxious, are the kids gonna get it? But he came home from school that day just beaming, he was so validated. It was as if someone came into this dark, musty house and just tore open all the windows and curtains and just let the fresh air and sunshine. It was just boom, the sun came out and just illuminated everything. So today, We are under an active CPS investigation. In February of 2022, Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, issued an opinion saying that parents who provide care to their transgender children should be, it's probably child abuse. So he said, I think that's child abuse. That's my legal opinion. That opinion was then given to Governor Greg Abbott the very next day. Greg Abbott ordered DFPS, the Department of Family Protective Services, to investigate parents like me, with the direction too that any call made about this type of case, namely parents of a trans kid, must be investigated, and that even if they don't find abuse, the cases must remain open. The next day, a call was made to CPS about me and my husband, Adam. And I admit being naive. I thought it would never happen to us. And I lost it. I was like, it's really happening. They're finally doing it. They're finally coming after our kids. I just remember I just fell to the floor and I just held onto the floor because I thought I was going to keep falling. Like, it was so terrifying. I think it's important to understand that this wasn't an overnight thing. This did not just happen one day because Governor Abbott deemed it so. In 2015, there were a handful of bathroom bills filed in the Texas legislature. In 2017, there were a ton. In 2019, it was religious refusal bills. In 2021, it was sports bills and medical ban bills and child abuse bills. Right? The attacks just kept getting more intense, more bold. The drumbeat got louder, the pressure got higher, and the nation just completely oblivious, and no one holding them accountable. This was America not paying attention and letting them get away with it, and I'm tired of it. And now I'm under investigation with mounting legal bills, terrified every day that even though they're not supposed to investigate my kids, none of this has been legal from the start. So who's to say they're not just going to show up at my doorstep any moment now and take my kids away, right? America has to do something because I'm a good mom and I love my kids and I want people to imagine what that's like. Imagine what that's like to love your kids unconditionally, to move mountains for them, to walk through hell and back for them, providing them everything that they need, and then being called a child abuser by the governor. My family's always going to come first, and if it came to it, we already have an exit plan. We know where we would go and how we would get there, but we're gonna stand and fight. We're rooted here. Like, we can't just pick up and leave. We don't have that luxury. But I think more importantly is that my civil rights and the civil rights of Max and Lulu and Adam, they matter regardless of our zip code. We still, for the most part, feel pretty safe. Like, our jobs are secure, our families love us, our community loves and supports us, and there's not a lot of families out there that have all of that. So we're going to stand and fight not only for our family, but for their families too.